buongiorno, everybody. This is Nebraska, and it's time for
TC and Jake.
a lesson of four.
What'd you think about the Dak thing?
What are you doing?
Trying to have a good podcast.
You didn't do the color thing, by the way.
Yeah, I forgot it at home.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Trey, I apologize.
Okay. Sorry, Trey.
Trey
Little
does the
buzz for you.
videos now.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's cool. I think probably like without any
You think it's cool that his brother died?
without any hyperbole at all, save for Tom Brady, but Tom Brady's not the quarterback of the Cowboys, that it's like one of the most incredible sports stories of my lifetime.
I mean,
Like,
Cutler,
he wasn't undrafted.
Yeah.
Did you say I mean Cutler?
Yeah.
What, did he bag Tommy Lahren?
He's just lived a hell of a life. I thought him and Kristen were thinking about giving it another go.
Boy, that's dicey, you know? And I'm positive that Kristen
Because I'm sure
Cavallari's...
she has political views that everyone would agree with.
Yeah, she's certainly not objecting on the grounds that I can't believe you ran off with this wench, this white supremacist nationalist. But
I mean, did we ever have
she's also like a super hated person.
any details there?
On what? Whether they were actually...
Like,
whether he
wasn't
was-
it just like half a tweet of like, now he's dating her? Like, what if he just like, got drinks one time?
Just wanted to hear her out on some of her ideas.
I would love, like, don't you think it'd be wild to like talk to her?
You know, it probably would be, but most of the time whenever she seems to be going to get drinks, they end up poured on her. So I would want to avoid that. I don't want to get a drink poured on me.
I think I do. It's a good story. A well-lived life includes many drinks poured on you.
I mean, I could do that for you. If that's
Yeah, I mean,
an aspiration of yours.
let me drink a little more of this water.
Yeah, you should.
I don't want to
end up with a lime
end up
topo
thirsty at the end. No,
on your head.
I don't remember what it was. I promised you some time ago that I would wear this shirt. It's from the family reunion we had. It's got the Notre Dame leprechaun on a jet ski.
That's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
That's pretty sweet. That's
wish,
from your actual family lake house?
Yeah. Perry family reunion. That Perry is my mother's maiden name.
Would you ever do
So now you know my security question.
Yeah. I mean, untold riches.
Yeah.
I'm going to steal your child credit check.
Oh, don't do that.
Dude, big news.
What?
That's pretty cool.
We're getting the COVID relief bill?
Yeah, not just that
agree.
they're getting the COVID relief bill, but that they snuck in the most sweeping, at least from a philosophical standpoint, change to American welfare since the New Deal.
Now you think it's cool. You're
What was-
just saying that because you have kids.
Yeah, but I don't. I also have a wife who, not that your wife wasn't working until very recently, but we're not going to get much out of it. I mean, it's graduated to a point where...
Yeah, no, I double checked to see what tax year we're talking about.
Yeah, which is, I hate the minutia of all this and nobody cares, but it is pretty interesting that, we didn't get the $15, which of course, because they can still frame that one in dishonest terms, but
Yeah, it's bad, and you really don't like the math currently, but I don't my preference 1,000%, in fact, would have been for them to put a $15 minimum wage in this. But the worst case scenario, or at least in the short term, it can get much worse than this in the long term, is to have it as like a popular issue to beat over the heads of the opposition. That seems good, right?
Yes, it does. So you got something out of it and you got something else you can hold on to as a hammer.
Like if it ends up being the thing that breaks the filibuster, which I think would be a good thing to break it over. Again, the fact that it's immensely good for people and immensely popular, like that everyone understands how good it is for everyone. That's the kind of thing that you want to run on.
And not to get too, into the weeds here, but two things. One, I don't think most people know that this is happening. I don't know. It just hasn't been that. And I think part of the reason most people don't know that it's happening is because Republicans haven't been bitching about it, you know, because they're like, oh, shit, people might kind of like this. And the second thing is what you really got to do is get it in there in this, let people realize how awesome it is to not have to worry that if you have to quit your job, your kids are going to starve. And that we can totally just do that. And then, you know, realize that people will be really mad if they lose it a year later. So you may have just changed the game. One of my favorite days on online, it happens about once every 2 Qs. This is my speak. Is when I wake up and Sarah J is trending on Twitter.
Yeah.
Because
I just remember the one, people really, why do we need to say negative things about her?
Yeah, well,
she's just a hardworking lady out there trying to do her best.
It's funny because there's a certain type of internet story. It's not common, but usually you can get to some level of root cause. Basically, oh, okay, this is about Jane Slater. If you unspool it long enough, you know, or, oh, okay, this is about Bean Dad. Who are some other main characters? You can get to the bottom of those after 10 clicks of like, oh, it's this tweet thread with Bean Dad or with something wife guy.
I would say that I'm frustrated that I do not feel like that is easy enough. Like, I don't like how much time I have to spend getting to the bottom of why people are talking about these things.
Well, what I'm telling you about every time that Sarah J is trending every 6 months, there is no reason. You can't. You can click through. It could be like a fucking ball of yarn, the world's biggest ball of yarn. You could pull on it all day. You'll never get there. Oh, I've seen all of them, bro. I've seen every one of the memes. It's Kevin Durant post-surgery.
Someone saying you got to be sick as fuck to watch Sarah J. Then he just says me, and it's Kevin Durant in a hospital bed looking sick as fuck.
All right, so this person tweeted, but bro, she's ugly. Grow up. You call the Bugatti.
I don't think that's what they said.
Okay, I'm not reading that. The Bugatti, the ugliest car in the world, and it wouldn't fucking matter because at the end of the day, that shit could still have a top speed of 267 miles an hour. Do you think NBA coaches was thinking, damn, Kobe is ugly as hell, but I don't want him on my team? Come on, bro.
I don't know.
And there's a million of these.
I'm not willing to concede that she's ugly. I think she's, you know,
well, I think it's
doing
all
her best.
Eye of the beholder, right?
Yeah, I think that everyone is beautiful in the eyes of God.
Well, here's a photo of her next to Joe Camel smoking a cigarette. So, you know, it's just every day. Like half the tweets are.
Do you use topics on Twitter? I'm going to assume you don't.
No.
Those seem dumb as hell, but would you consider introducing this as your first topic?
How does it work?
I don't know. I don't want to know. That shit looked dumb as hell. But they apparently have the ability to just follow whenever people are talking about a thing.
Oh, okay.
So I would think that just, you know,
terrible.
it's just kind of like looking for, you know, mentions of Sarah J. And then just, you know, every day in your feed you could have. I mean, because you're just seeing it whenever it reaches a critical mass. There's probably someone tweeting about her every day.
Like B-sides type stuff?
Yeah, so
for sure.
You could get there.
Do you remember when Obama followed her?
I do not. I mean, you know, whatever.
That was the theme of like half the memes.
He's following a lot of people.
And then here's a see Sarah J is trending me, and it's just Salt Bae smashing a tenderloin with his hands.
He's beating the meat, Jake.
Oh, man.
You want to stay on twitter.com and watch the Johnny Damon video?
Oh, you know what? Speaking of, I haven't seen it. I just saw the little topic thing on the side over there.
You haven't seen it?
No. I was not all that dialed in on Johnny Damon today.
All right. Well, enjoy.
Just a little bit? Yeah. All right.
The question was, how much did you drink?
Couple reasons I'm stopping.
I know.
One, while I've been behind you, you've left your lane multiple times. Just say it. Okay, while I've been behind you, you've left your lane multiple times, and you actually struck the curb at one point on Main Street. And then the stop sign back there, you stopped all the way past the stop bar, the white line on the ground, you have to stop behind it. Hey, shut your door. Stay in the car. Stay in the car. Right. Stay there. Hey, stay there, sir.
We got a woman. Oh, they can
Stay
see
back
it.
over there.
Maybe not
Listen
everyone
to
can.
me.
Yeah.
Step over there.
Okay,
The
Stay
woman
in
is
the
now
car.
getting out of the passenger side.
Stay in the car. Stay in the. Get
Based
back
on
in
how
the
she's
car.
moving, you would think that he's yelling, "Get out of the car."
Stay
Yeah.
there. Hey,
Yeah.
I'm telling
Hey.
her to go in the
Go.
car.
Stand over here.
Hey,
To go
we
in the
are
car.
right
Stand over here.
there. We are right there.
Get back in the car.
All right, it's
Get
fine.
back in-
I'm going to talk
Get
to
back
the...
in the
She's
car.
again.
Don't touch
It's
me.
as if he
Don't
said,
touch
"Get
me.
as far away from the
No,
car as
don't touch me.
possible."
Are one of those
Don't
titties
touch
gonna
me.
pop out?
Don't touch
No.
They're super close. Oh,
They are.
Yeah. Let's see if we get
Might
it
even
fully.
want two, actually.
Hey,
That's
hey,
as close as
we
you're gonna
are-
get.
We are at
Stop.
home
Turn
right
around.
now.
Turn around. Turn around.
Bro.
Turn around.
We are.
Turn around.
Okay, we are at home right now. I don't know what you are.
That house is
doing.
ugly as
Face the
shit.
car.
Okay.
I hate that. Whatever you call it, Venetian
Get
look.
down on the
I
ground
think it's a
right
condo.
Hey,
There's no way it's their.
walk home.
I mean,
now.
maybe.
Hey, secure her right now.
No,
Bat Leo.
hey, babe. Walk
Battery
home.
Leo.
No, babe, walk home.
Bradley Leo.
Babe, walk home.
Hey.
What are you doing right
Hey.
now?
Damn, man, he's getting rough. I love it.
The car.
Yeah.
Face the car.
Hey, I'm gonna.
Face the car.
I am not doing anything right
Stop trying to pull away from me.
now. I'm not.
Yeah, you are. You keep walking away.
Hey,
Get hands behind your back.
Full Randy Marsh.
Blue Lives Matter.
No, this is
Blue Lives Matter.
I think you're doing a great job, bud. It means a lot to me what you're doing for our
Shit,
community.
dude. 4th and 24. And I am just absolutely heaving from the pocket. Blue Lives Matter.
Hey, buddy, Blue
Lives Matter. Blue
I'm with you.
Oh. Well, then, okay, sir. You go about your way.
He did. It's not in that particular clip, but he also said that he felt he was being targeted because of his Trump support.
Okay, see, that's what I saw.
Yeah. I could have taken the time to find that video, but I didn't.
No, that one's pretty good, though. But, I mean, titty didn't pop out, but it seemed like as low as those were and there was a little tussle there. There was a possibility.
I mean, go back on your own time. I think that if you pause it at the right moment, it's not out, but you'll be able to work with that.
I'll probably be busy with
a
Sarah
little
J.
bad Sarah J combo. we
Just
can
wanna know
get the job done.
Total truth.
That could be a little appetizer for the main course. Let's not rule it out. Who knows how you're going to be feeling in a couple hours?
Man, that's a main course. I'm not sure you can have an appetizer for. Like you don't. You know what I mean? Like there's certain.
I
you
do
don't,
know what you mean.
certain things.
I mean,
you
it's
just,
a 24-ounce steak.
You gotta go in hungry.
I don't need a bunch of green beans.
Did you hear that Milo Yiannopoulos is
Your
ex-gay
dog?
now?
Oh, he's what?
Ex-gay.
Okay, that's cool.
He's joined your church.
My church.
He's Catholic now.
Oh, well, big ups. I mean, I could see why you would do it. Now's the time.
It's an incredible
We
story.
are, after all, back on top.
You are back on top. You survived the Rose Garden. So this is an excerpt from an interview he gave, and this is just insane. And I saw someone saying this morning, like, don't even amplify this story, but it's too funny because it includes the term ex-gay, as if that's how sexuality works. Milo was asked about his conversion, because that's why he's being praised. He embraced conversion therapy.
Okay.
He said, the guy I live with has been demoted to housemate, which hasn't been easy for either of us. It helps that I can keep him in Givenchy and a new Porsche every year. Could be worse for him, I guess.
Can he?
I don't know where this dude's money comes from. I have no idea. He's counting his days as he says, an effective bulwark against sin. The last 250 days, I've only slipped once, which is better than I predicted I would do. He's talking about having sex with his boyfriend here,
Yeah.
not a drug addiction.
Yeah, it's fucking 30 days without sucking a dick.
Jeez.
God willing.
Jeez. And so, yeah, now he's like, I searched this, of course, this morning.
That's amazing.
And just
God,
looked at
that's
all
great.
it's got to honestly be a paycheck. But like there are prominent evangelicals who are like, he's a beacon of hope. He shows that, you can convert. But wrapped in there is, the very godly message of, at least I can keep my housemate here by buying him these clothes and these expensive cars every year.
Yeah.
Which is what the church is about, in addition to conversion, I'm sure.
Not ours, dude.
Well,
ours is about God.
But not all. There's some other stuff.
No.
The Supreme Court.
We do also like the Saints.
For real though, like I guess this is more of a Thursday topic, but I'm seriously, after reading 3 or 4 articles about it, like blown away on this child credit thing. Like I seriously don't think most people, if you ask them right now, know that like they very soon could start receiving $600 a month if they make less than even like $75K if they have 2 kids. Like that's the most direct, I guess we would call it welfare, but benefit that we've, this shit has not been popular in my entire lifetime. That's for sure.
Yeah, no, so what is the structure of the program? I'm going to admit to not knowing the details of what's passed.
Okay, I pulled it. I had it here the other day. And they, of course, as the New York Times will do, starts with an anecdote about somebody who lost. It's $300, up to $300 per child, and $250 for those over 5.
And is it done through like tax credit shenanigans?
No.
Okay.
I don't think that it is. I think it's direct.
Okay.
That's the thing. It's going to be checks, monthly checks.
Yeah, no,
to
I think that they were talking, like, well, whenever they were talking about monthly checks, they were talking about it like as a prorated future, like advance on your tax credit that you were going to receive. It was a whole messy business.
I don't think that's how it ended up passing.
Well, that would be great. I'm excited to learn more about this after we're done talking about it.
That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think that, pretty much in our life, I don't have like clear memories of welfare reform or the debate around it. I was probably like 6, something like that.
Boy, I do.
Yeah.
Dude, because I've told you before, like that was
My family didn't pay attention to politics.
Oh, well, yeah. We had enough paying attention. Now, it was really kind of more of there's always one guy who's the siren song of the family to really, hey, everyone, look at how cool it is over here, this work I'm doing with Freedom Works and Dick Army. Mm-hmm. And that just sort of flows through everyone else's, belief, which a big part of it was welfare. And that was not even, obviously, because Clinton passed it. It wasn't like it was an exclusively Republican idea. The welfare queen, the value of work, all this bullshit that basically just means make sure we can't give people enough money to live now that we've put them in this situation at the late stages of this hellscape. But I do remember it. And I probably thought, I was like, yeah.
But I was just saying it was a long time ago.
It was a long time ago.
And so, since then, don't believe that there's been any kind of substantial amount of cash from the government that wasn't some sort of tax credit nonsense.
So just to be clear here, it says, though framed, this is from the Times reporting, though framed in technocratic terms as an expansion of an existing tax credit, is essentially a guaranteed income for families with children, child allowances that are common in other rich countries.
That's good. And I mean, if you are not a person who like receives it, obviously the people who are most excited are the people who, are going to get like a ton of money. But way of thinking about this, and I understand how this is not the same as like getting presents on Christmas in terms of levels of excitement, but we are all going to live in this world together. Yeah. And, if the guy who broke into my house had a tax credit whenever he was growing up, who knows where we could have been.
Of course, that's the point. That's the point of the basic, if you're doing well financially, yet still don't have, regressive views, especially when it comes to economics. That's why the shit, when you're growing up and people are like, yeah, just wait till you have a little money. They'll come over. I'm like, what if I'm just not a shitty person when it comes to caring about the outcomes of other people's lives? And even if I do want to be kind of a shitty person and frame it of how it'll make it better for me, pick. You have options.
Yeah, no, I make $100,000 a year, and I donate all of it to the IRS.
Half IRS, half IRA.
No comment. Yeah, anything been going on with that? Was that in the COVID Relief Act?
Funding the IRA? No, I don't think it was.
Just the reunification.
No, I don't think it was. I
assume you saw the Irish Times lead on the Oprah interview. It was sent to me a lot of
there
times.
Or were you? What was it?
The clown thing.
No, I haven't seen it.
Okay.
I don't get the same level of Irish editorial content that you do. Dude, by the way, my fucking arm is incredibly sore.
I know, dude. It's bad.
Like, I don't feel bad. I kind of felt a little funky last night.
It was about 24 hours.
I can feel it in, like, my shoulder blades.
Yeah, no, I did not feel bad. It was just that my arm did fucking hurt. And, like, Izzy would hit it a couple times. And, like,
rubbing
that is a sharp pain.
That's a tough one.
Yeah, here you go. Having a monarchy next door is a little like having a neighbor who's really into clowns and has a house dabbed in clown murals, displays clown dolls in each window, and has an insatiable desire to hear about and discuss clown-related news stories. More specifically for the Irish, it's like having a neighbor who's really into clowns and also your grandfather was murdered by a clown.
It's like if Jack Handy wrote the...
It is. Yeah.
He had some inspiration there for sure.
That is what it's like hearing the monarchy. Did you watch the interview?
I did.
It's pretty good.
You know, it fell into one of those deals of, you know, and I'm sure some people get pissed off if we do it on the show, but we don't really have like e-news. Mm-hmm. And even like, you know, the Musers just have such a longer show. They can do like different stuff. And
I thought the station did e-news.
Well, I'm just, you know what I mean? I don't have a space to discuss these things, and I didn't really want to make it like the whole confused. 1:30 news. But it's kind of just like that zeitgeist thing of, well, shit, if this is what everybody's making memes about, I want to watch it. Even if I do not care at all. And almost more than don't care, I'm really put off by the entire concept, as I've said many times.
Yeah, of course. But I felt like the point of the interview was, like, it was the most anti-royal interview ever given by a royal, you know? So it's got something in there for people who don't like the entire thing. And I know that your wife was in solidarity with me and having interest in this.
Oh yeah,
because she also listened to all the Princess Diana podcasts.
Yeah, I was getting like liner notes.
The parallels are creepy.
I don't need to. Let me just watch this.
That was wild. Markle talking about her mom being like, "Did Diana ever give any interviews?" And she'd be like, "Yes." There was a notable time. You know about that one? Like that she was like sneaking him in.
Yeah, it was the guy who did Michael Jackson too, right?
Yes. Yeah.
I forgot his name.
Martin Bashir.
Martin Bashir. Boy, he had a minute.
And he's I think that the investigation is open currently because how he got her to do the interview was that he showed her checks, like financial documents proving that it was members of her royal staff that were being paid by the tabloids. Like it was a check with like names of her staff.
Talking about some mole money
being cut by like the Sun or something like that. But it came out later. He fabricated those documents.
That's what I thought.
They were not real documents.
Yeah, he's disgraced journalist Martin Bashir.
For
sure.
I think it was an ITV interview. Or no, he's on ITV now, but it was Panorama on the BBC that he did the interview. So the BBC is investigating to see. I don't know if that resolved itself or not. I mean,
it was a hot case. It's been.
I mean, it was. I don't want to say that. Like I don't know for sure because like the Crown was also a big deal, but I think it was the You're Wrong About. Like they mentioned that in it, and people were kind of like. In the way that, like, the point of that podcast is to, like, take pieces of history that people sort of glossed over and be like, wait, no, this is pretty fucked up. And after that episode ran, the BBC was like, yeah, we're going to look into this. They're right. It's fucked up.
Well, while that is an accomplishment for a podcast, it strikes me as a bit hilarious that some of these investigative podcasts will get people out of jail or murder solved, and You're Wrong About just kind of gets people to look into how that big Princess Di interview actually came to be.
Whatever, dude. No need.
That's about perfect.
Pointless point.
That's right with, like just the other day, I was talking to my boyfriend and he didn't even know Sia was Australian.
Okay.
It's
you
the
know
same.
what? Kristen's right, dude.
No, don't you say it.
I'm done. That's all I was gonna say. No, I loved because I didn't know anything about this interview until Sunday night when everyone was tweeting about it.
I think I saw like a week-long lead up, or maybe it was more like months ago during the bidding
Okay.
for like how it was going to happen on what outlets
Yeah, see,
and networks.
I think I saw like an Oprah clip the day before. It was like, I wonder, like in my head without doing any work at all, was like, I wonder when that will happen. And then the next day everyone was tweeting about it enough that I was like, oh, I guess it's happening now. And then I went and found it. But just the intensity with which people focused on it, it kind of feels like we're moving on a bit at this point. But just your words were echoing in my head that it's just so good to have Trump gone. There's no way that we could all just stop and talk about Meghan effing Markle. Like, there was so much of this was going on. I mean, I guess this is probably like the biggest part of like this story, but this story's been unfolding for a while, and it was not getting this whenever it was just like they've left England to go to Canada.
So the great thing about Trump is that he's hilarious and very entertaining. The bad thing,
But I need some variety.
exactly.
Yeah.
The bad thing is you just get too much of a homogenous cultural.
It's like I'm trying to
story
tell
of the
my
day.
wife, I just need some variety.
Sarah J's not going to be trending today if Trump wins. That's all. I mean, I know she's trended before, probably under Trump, but that was also probably because Obama followed her.
It's different rules.
He's just gobbling it up. I mean, no pun intended. So
No, but I was confused. Like, I don't know. Am I a dummy for like interfacing with the substance of this whole deal? But it seemed like her primary, like that all of it boils down to the security for their son and then the security for them subsequently, right? Like that's the substantial thing. Like it's fucked up that they're running these stories and then refusing to deny them. And that, you know, I'm sure that that's what like kind of contributed to the suicidal feelings, because, you know, whatever. Of course, this podcast doesn't take Piers Morgan seriously, but it just seemed like crazy for me for him to claim that surely she wasn't feeling suicidal, because to me that's like a textbook. I mean, we talked about it before. These are thoughts that have popped up into my head over the course of my life, and the pattern I've noticed is that universally it's a control thing. Like whenever I do not feel like I have other options in my life, it's comforting that whenever you're like, well, you do have that one. You could always do that, and that's entirely you. You know, like it's your thing. And so if I was in a situation where like I didn't feel like I could leave the house, I wanted, you know, some defense, some pushback, and like they were just flatly saying no, and then I said I want to go like get help, and they were like, that's a bad look for us. Fuck no. Like that. Then it's just like what role do I have in my own life? If you're asking that question and not finding a substantial answer, I think that most people in that case would feel suicidal. So you know, that stuff's important, like all that. But I think that her big thing, like beyond that, was like what we actually care about is we want our son to be protected, and you're telling him he can't be protected.
And I didn't even really get all that.
Well,
like
see-
they're relying on some arcane, deep in the book rule from like I don't know.
I think that they were. I thought that she was saying that the rule, like the convention, made it pretty clear that he was, or that at least whenever the queen dies, that he's like clearly part of
I think
the
that was
protected
it.
part. And then,
Yeah.
but they were trying to be like, yeah, but does that have to apply now to him?
Okay.
But the point, like, whenever I started thinking about like, well, why do they have security? Like, because, you know, someone like Trump having security, it's obvious enough. Like, he has a role in the culture where a lot of people are going to be mad. And, like, people are mad about the existence of the royal family, but, like, Prince Harry is not, like, a political figure. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I think you don't need that many people who just have an anarchist strain about them that see them as not political, but as a symbol of the state. as a beloved symbol of the state.
I wouldn't identify that as the primary risk they're facing. What I would identify as the primary risk they're facing is that they're a member of a rich family who controls a lot of things, and thus a kidnapping of them would likely be fairly fruitful.
Yeah, that's true.
If that's the point of the security, then like, are you telling me that if someone kidnapped Archie right now, that it would be chill? Like, they'd just be like, you know, let him do what you're gonna do with him. It's out of our hands. So if that's not the case, if you think that you would in fact pay whatever ransom is required to get back this tiny fucking baby,
You got to call Denzel.
then I think you might want to do the security. And then whenever they pull it from Harry, like, you're telling me if the Queen's fucking grandson gets kidnapped, that they're just going to be like, oh, you know, it's out of our hands. He said he wasn't in the family.
Flip side of that, though, is if they did have a Secret Service-like detail, which I assume in that situation they're not leaving the country. They're not leaving the country to live, is what I'm saying. They'll still go through the Commonwealth, but
Yeah.
I feel like she would probably also feel pretty suffocated by that. So maybe you're choosing a least bad option for how you're going to feel. Because that's the other thing too. Is, and of course,
You wonder to some extent if they're all still in the family, if they just fucking treat the kid with the same respect that they do the other kids.
they probably are still in. But I just didn't get the sense that she really was feeling the whole setup. Like there was going to be
No.
falling out one way or the other.
I think that she wasn't feeling the setup. I think that if they had made like obvious concessions, that
Yeah, it's tough to
would have
say
been
because they never
manageable.
even tried.
You know, I don't think anyone would have been like happy and like this is all everything we wanted, but it's better than what they were in. You know,
That is the
acceptable.
immediate Dan response, though, is didn't she know what this was going to be like?
I mean,
Don't you? I mean, I would think it. It kind of feels like when you're watching The
One-
Bachelor or Bachelorette,
Yeah.
and
Sorry.
then well, just like later, you hear like it's tough because you don't know what they actually ever talk about. But reality show relationships always feel like, boy, did you guys not? I mean, shit. I've even had buddies who've gotten divorced, and they're telling me like why, and I'm like, you didn't discuss any of this beforehand.
yeah.
You didn't ask any questions about how this specific thing was going to play out. And that's kind of, I guess,
just
what you
thought
could
she
say.
liked Daniel.
Jesus. That's kind of what you could say about her is just like, I mean, I guess you don't know you're in love. You don't know what it's going to be like till you're in it. But I would think you would stop and be like, so like, am I really never getting my keys back? Like, I'm just not going to have a license now? Like, that seems like it could be a bit suffocating, a bit isolating.
Yeah, I mean, I think that Diana thing's a long time ago. You'd like to hold out hope that everyone learned some lessons from that. Clearly, they didn't. But, you know, it's possible. I like to give people the benefit of a doubt. And then, you know, you don't want to be like, I think that everyone has, some people are realists about this topic, of course. But I think that most people, like at base, would prefer not to make decisions about that kind of thing, like about love based on someone's family versus them. Like,
It's a pretty significant family.
I know what you mean. Like, and I mean, I guess they are still married and everything, but you know, she pretty much divorced. Like, she pretty much got a divorce. You know what I mean? Like, not from him, but from them.
I didn't know about her. I didn't know her dad went on Piers' show. That's a tough break, man.
Yeah,
You gotta lock that scene down.
yeah.
That's probably not what somebody who's been through. Like, what are you doing there, Dad? Like, what's the point of that? Like, if you really feel like you need to reach out to her and say, like, hey, I really feel like we're drifting apart.
He's in the Johnny Manziel's dad Hall of Fame of great dads.
Dude, kind of. Like, where's Wright Thompson? I got to make sure he gets this quote clean. She's going to die if I don't see her get help. Like,
Maybe he'll be included in the Teddy Perkins that Atlanta episode when he's talking about it's going to be a hall to great dads, like the man who dropped Emilio Estevez off in the beginning of The Breakfast Club.
what's he getting out of that?
He's on TV, dude.
Okay, but-
he gets to talk to Piers Morgan.
That's a really, really small payout. Ooh, Blue Jay. For
I mean, have you ever seen someone that splotchy up close?
their dad did not look like he was doing well either. It just was a tough, super tough scene on that entire set.
And then
I felt like his shit had to be planned too.
Pierce?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think he knew.
I think he was pretty legitimately frustrated they weren't just being deferential and letting him talk.
But then doesn't he have like something else he's already announced he's going to be a part of or something? Like another venture?
I'm glad I will be able to, because before I watched the interview, I did put on, like, just to get myself in the headspace. This was, like, I'm trying to think of the things that you do, like, in this vein of just, like, kind of, yeah, I mean, I said as well as I can, get in the headspace. I put on a 10-minute clip of Piers reacting to the preview. Like, it hadn't, the episode was airing as it was going on, so I couldn't see what he thought about it then.
Oh, no.
Jake dropped the mic.
I don't feel like mine's is anchored.
Yeah, no, it's not ideal.
We'll be fine.
But yeah, just him going on, like the angle that he was going on, and this was
Well, the preview's like a minute, right? He's got to.
oh yeah. No, but he talked for much longer than the preview. He's just going in on, I don't understand why they think that they're the only people in the world who get only positive press coverage. Like that was the point of the interview of like, how come we don't only get positive press coverage? I think what she was saying, Pierce, is that she thought she was going to kill herself soon, and that they told her that she could not seek help for it. That seems to me like an entirely different issue from whether or not they're getting positive press coverage. Yeah. I mean, like, the press is obviously a large part of this. Like, it's these stories about, like, making Kate Middleton cry that, like, become the problem. But if those were reacted to by everyone around there by being like, this is terrible, like, we hate this leak as much as you hate this leak, and we're going to do everything that we possibly can, including going out and denying it directly, leading a full investigation into who this was. You know, like, if they're reacting with the same horror that she is, the press isn't the problem. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, it's not, the whole situation's not a problem. But final thing about your thing of didn't you know what was coming? I mean, like, even after watching this interview, I have no idea what it's like to be in her situation. You know, like, don't you think that if you ever did, if you used your third wish on, I just want to be Meghan Markle for one day.
What was the first two?
I don't know.
Okay, I was about to say, I don't feel like those have come in yet. Sarah J is trending.
First wish is, can Sarah J get trending? Yeah, and so, like, don't you think that would be a mind-blowing experience where you'd be like, man, I watched that interview, but I guess I had no idea.
Yeah.
Like, you could say, like, didn't you know what you're getting into? But, like, no one could possibly know. I mean, it doesn't look good, you know? Like, you are right that, like, the general direction is, like, shouldn't you be concerned? And it turns out she should have. But, you know.
I think it also, well, I mean, obviously the headline was about the skin tone and color of the baby.
Indeed.
The only thing about that, and a P1 pointed this out to me, who listened to You're Wrong About also, and was like, you know, I listened to this entire podcast, and it seems like it's pretty much exactly the same as Diana. So I don't know how much that really plays into it or not.
I mean, but so I hear them. It's true that they've got
I don't know if this matters, but he is a black guy who emailed me.
Okay.
Who was like, I just don't think this has anything to do with what she's talking about.
Yeah, so I think that both things can be true. I think that they can have like negative treatment of like people who join the family. And I think that they also like, it's not the exact same as Diana, because whenever Diana had two kids, both of them got full, titles and security. Like, that's the difference. Like, every time someone in Meghan Markle's situation has had a child, they got full titles and security. And now the second that you have one that has even so much as one drop, they're like, I don't know.
I wonder how much of that would have been an American thing too, though. American, Canadian.
That's a great question.
I don't know. I mean, I don't like them, so I would imagine they don't have a great opinion of me.
Nah, but we're pretty good. We got Waffle House.
We do. And they're, nobody has to dunk on British food. Everyone knows it's awful.
Yeah. Although,
I don't even know what is it.
I mean, it's a bunch of baked beans for breakfast.
That's what it seems to be. Although I will fuck with some mayonnaise and French fries on you. I don't order it with it. But if I get, if I have a burger, and I unapologetically love mayonnaise. I like the different types of mayonnaise too. I like where mayonnaise is
No, I've
headed.
noticed a lot of white people like it.
I don't care. It may be the whitest thing about me, other than my actual skin color, is my love for mayonnaise.
I'll get it on burgers every time.
I'll
But
take it
French
sriracha,
fries, I can't do.
garlic aioli. I've never asked for it on French fries, but sometimes if you really get douched up with mayonnaise,
Yeah, like
you
if
got a
something
little
fell out of my burger, I
dabby
would
dab.
I would kind of wipe it off of the fry, even if it fell directly onto the fry.
Oh, I've actually taken a bun. This is just ask for mayonnaise, but I don't want to do that because I don't want people to think I'm British. So I've actually removed the bun and been like, there's a lot of mayonnaise on here, and scooped a little fry on the burger. Oh, God.
Yeah, it sounds gross.
the problem is-
do like poutine.
See,
Do like poutine.
I'm not a huge fan. And I might have just ordered the wrong, because the place we went to was almost like a fussy poutine place that had like 30 different recipes.
I don't have a problem with that.
But you're more likely
You
to
talking
strike
about the one in Austin?
Montreal.
Okay. Because the one in Austin, where we did the live show.
That's right.
from,
I don't think I
Haymaker.
got any.
It was fucking great. It was great.
But if you go to a fussy one, then you're more likely to be like they had one that was like Mexican poutine that had like ground beef and like sour cream. Basically, it was a taco on.
Yeah, I'm not opposed to that. That actually sounds good. But just the straight brown gravy and cheese curds.
That's the problem. I don't love brown gravy.
I would say that's the best application of brown gravy. And I
probably-
like brown gravy all right.
it's
I mean, I
fine.
prefer the cream.
Dude, I ate so much goddamn cream gravy this weekend.
Yeah? Just
Yeah.
straight?
Biscuits, gravy, scrambled eggs, extra gravy both times.
Okay.
Just the happiest I could possibly be eating food.
Like you guys made it there or got a little brunch?
Yeah, dude, I mean,
You want to tell us about Wimberley?
There's not much to it. It's just a nice place. You
You understand that you have full support here of relocating the podcast to that area at any time, right?
Yeah, I do. And I'm, we'll
In a heartbeat, dude.
what was his quote? Stay tuned. The reckoning is coming or something. I don't know. I just want to give like an ominous Papa John's quote that actually doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, I
Dude,
mean,
we
you
should
know,
have played
as
that
far as we
audio.
know.
You could probably still pull it up.
Yeah, I'm sure I can. I mean, I saw
There
the
has to be
short
a full clip that's
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, dude.
Okay.
I haven't seen it yet, and we got a
Is it out
podcast
there?
tomorrow. I don't know. I haven't seen it yet.
okay. I just feel like if it was
This
out
one's
there,
52 seconds. I mean, I just I figure that it's not like OWN is trying to hide their segments.
no, but also as someone pointed out, their channel does always look like a high school TV1 type
Yes.
production. So I don't. The Pepper
one of
Girls.
one of the videos that we've seen while looking for the Papa John's thing. It's the two women in sports bras that eat the ghost pepper and then like start coughing and screaming. And the title of it is "Not Saying the N-Word for an Entire Minute Challenge." That's
But
that's Papa
attributed to
John
Papa John.
trying to go through it.
Yeah, this is. I mean,
He obviously just misspoke. Like,
yeah,
I do want to hear the entire interview.
I'll see if I can find the whole thing.
But like the thing that people were focusing on, like I understood his point. I think that everyone else can too. Like he was just trying to say that he doesn't say that word. Like I don't know, dude. It is fucked up that like they kicked him out of the entire company.
yeah, but
because
you know
he
what
used
that is,
as an
though.
example.
That's
I
people
do.
just they wanted him. That's a.
I know.
That's a Capone.
But like I want to hear about the other stuff. You know what I mean? Like there's a wide range of possibilities for what could be the reasons why they jumped on that opportunity. One of them is he was terrible at running the business and they were pretty sure that they could all make more money if they kicked him out. In which case he's running a business. It's what, like it happens. Another one is like that fucking, it's all personal bullshit of like, he didn't give me a Christmas card whenever I thought that I deserved it. Like, or, his wife said something to slight my wife. And so I'm going to get that motherfucker. And now finally, here's my chance.
That's
I'm
also
just saying,
just business. But
then I would say that he got screwed over. If someone's trying to take out a personal beef, which I mean that probably is what he's trying to intimate with the famous.
No doubt.
Stay
tuned.
More to come. You guys watch this space.
The day of reckoning is coming. Okay, but third thing though, and you
I
didn't
have
really-
been watching this space by continuing to subscribe to him on TikTok.
That's the only reason I want to figure that platform out. So, bad at business, one reason. Possible personal vendetta, slights, and revenge games going back and forth, second. But also, and I haven't tried it yet, they didn't release the papadilla until he was out. So he may have been standing in the way of the papadilla.
I could see why he
on the
would,
grounds,
dude. It sucks.
on the grounds of just not spreading ourselves too thin here, you know?
Yeah.
That's the thing, is that very few businesses are able to provide so many items away from their core product and keep the core product reputable and respectable. And I think that's what the Papa was trying to say whenever
Go
he ate
watch
30
the founder,
pizzas
you know?
in 30 days.
It's like whenever Ray Kroc walks up to McDonald's and they're selling fried chicken with a biscuit.
Right.
He's like, what
Let's
the fuck
focus
is
in
this?
here.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think it's also kind of sad. Like, I don't know what his relationship with the company is anymore. I assume it to be non-existent entirely.
It seems adversarial.
Okay, so it would be, what does Norm say? That relationship ended without amicability. About the man grate.
About what?
The man grate.
What's that?
I've sent you that video of when Norm McDonald first launched his podcast. And podcasts were like first starting.
Okay,
And it was a video podcast.
Okay. I thought you were talking about Norm Hitchkiss. I was
He had like an 80-pound grill crate. He's like, see, it cooks chicken, steak. That's not that unique.
He was advertising a product that he seemed to be openly confused about the
Pick it up,
existence of.
like, oh, it's so heavy. It weighs a lot
It
of
was kind of
pounds.
funny. He's like, what the fuck is this? Anyways, I guess buy it.
That's a phrase I use a lot in my personal life now. At the end, he's asked about the campaign,
what
and they're like,
happened to the man
he's like,
grate?
well, that relationship ended without amicability. So, given that Papa John's relationship ended without amicability, I think it's like borderline sad that he still wears his red button up in every single interview. Like, it's so tied to his personal brand.
Like it doesn't have the Papa John's logo, but it has like his signature where the logo would go.
Yeah. And
like he clearly looked at the shirt that he'd worn every single day since 1976, which, by the way, he absolutely was wearing whenever he and I met. And it was like, well, what do I do now?
Yeah.
And you know, it's like, well, what if we like kind of chip off the logo, but do like my signature?
Yeah, and you remember when he first gave the Day of Reckoning is coming, he had a Papa John's style shirt that just said Jeff Baseball
Yeah.
on the chest, because for a long time Brick had me in his phone as Jeff Baseball. Which, sure.
Then you know, it sounds like no matter what I say, you're thinking Sarah J. What makes me horny about the Jeff Baseball shirt is that I don't think that OnlyFans was prominent at the time, but someone you would now describe as an OnlyFans model had just did like a photo shoot of like a one-piece swimsuit, but it's the Jeff Baseball shirt.
Jesus. I need to see that.
I showed it to you.
Oh, I'm sorry. I should have remembered.
I don't know how you would have forgot.
It would be like if you were disgraced, released from a sports team, and still went to card shows like wearing your uniform. Like, dude, you got to get a different look than just that red shirt. But who knows? Maybe he kind of thinks it's his, MAGA-y type brand.
I'm trying to go through all of my my bookmarks to find
I don't even
it.
know the difference between a bookmark and a like.
I mean, bookmarks people can't see.
But they're essentially the same?
I mean, it's just
It's
like
just a list.
I use it so that I like the likes. There's a lot of stuff I like that isn't like I need to go back and find this later. The bookmarks is just specifically for I need to go back and find this later. And I can't find the picture I was talking about, but I do got this clip.
My favorite moment was when we realized this little 2-foot-tall green guy is Yoda. I just sat back in my chair and said, hello. Oh boy, this is one bad little 2-foot guy.
A real
It's
way with words.
they're selling the Star Wars VHSs on QVC.
Not QVC'd.
What do you mean? What joke is that referring to that I don't know about?
I probably just got a little too into the group chat there.
Okay.
Top seed in QVC.
Oh yeah. I remember now.
Which
Okay.
is, speaking of the group chat,
Yeah, it's
I think
Siemens sold through a television platform.
no non-fungible tokens even sold on cable television.
Yeah, so you know that it's one of one.
Right. That was so weird. I think it might have been Monday morning when I woke up and there were a couple texts in the chat from the boys about knowing the skin tone of the baby, but I had not seen the interview yet.
Uh-huh.
And had not really been online Monday morning because we were still on vacation. I watched some of the All-Star games Sunday night. And I was like, I don't even know how to respond to this without knowing that. It was such an uncomfortable line that I'm like, I don't even know how to ask what this is about. Am I supposed to know this? I'm not going to out anybody specifically, but I was like, I'm going to put my phone up.
No, I got it. I thought it was good. There's been a lot of great lines in the group chat recently. Josh saying he lost because of his feet was exceptional. I don't know. Whatever. It's a private group chat. I don't want to.
Probably.
But
So one day we'll just read the whole thing.
yeah, I feel like doing it.
And I don't know if I'll be putting this headset on again.
That was a great idea that you guys had for making Rangers games. So what?
I can't stop saying it to myself because you know what it was last night was somebody took the image of Myers Leonard with the Pit Viper glasses on and his gaming headset and just put the full Tom Brenneman quote next to it.
You talking about Pit Viper sunglasses?
Yeah.
Are those the kinds that first responders wear?
Yeah. What about third?
I just think he wouldn't respond. It's a Cumtown ad for people who don't understand what we're talking about. Listen to the podcast Cumtown. It's very popular.
It is kind of funny though, like without getting too specific here.
You hear about Andrew Cuomo using a dinosaur grabber.
Hey, stop. It is
I hadn't thought about those grabbers in forever. Sorry.
I haven't either. And you'd squeeze the deal and its mouth would open. Yeah, a little pinchy. I always get a little bit uncomfortable whenever there is a slur or racist. That's certainly the word's not cancellation, but whenever something like that comes to the forefront, and you see the reaction from a lot of people. And I always get queasy because you'll see a word used. Let's not even use this one for now. Like you'll see a word used and people will be like, I've never even actually heard somebody say that. And I'm not talking about like the main ones. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, yeah, I heard that my whole life. Like whether it was locker room, from a coach, from a not that far removed family member.
Preacher. Not never.
Not never.
Yeah.
And so the one that Myers Leonard used.
Not a lot of slurs in the Plano area.
I heard.
I don't want to say none, but
I just saw so many people being like, boy, that's an off the board slur. Like that's not even one that I. Like,
I don't know what you're talking about.
Really?
No.
Okay. You can't play it. So
okay.
Myers Leonard was on. Of course, a video game stream.
Hell yeah.
Because that's where most of the toxicity comes from.
Julian Edelman wrote a letter to him.
That's because I believe Julian Edelman is of Jewish descent.
Okay.
So it's a word that rhymes. It's the K word.
Yeah, okay. I guess didn't understand the context, but I learned this week, probably relatedly, that it's an American invention, not a worldwide phenomenon.
Yeah, I
thought that was interesting trivia.
I didn't know that either, and I didn't know where it came from, but I
didn't think that, like, we don't seem especially focused. Europe seems to have more problems, by and large.
With Jewish people or with racism in general? Because I think both are probably true.
Yeah, but I was referring specifically to Jewish people.
Yeah. Yeah, that seems.
So the fact that we have our own, I would, if you'd asked me before, are there any specifically American slurs for Jewish people? I would have said no.
And I don't know.
But I'm wrong.
I have no idea what
I'm learning a lot every day
from Myers-Leonard. But that's, again, it just makes you feel really icky when you see people talking about something and it's a lot of people and your experience does not seem to be the same as theirs. Like them kind of doing this is just so, I've never heard this word in my life. And I'm like, me neither.
Yeah.
Never heard it.
What all I'm hearing is that you're not from Watauga.
No, it's not that. It's more just old country folk who like slurs.
Yeah.
And sometimes are,
Do you have any specific memories of context?
Some of it is jokes, and some of it would be, I've heard people use that word while speaking about,
Did a family member ever explain to Josh Lewin how copper wire was invented?
Dude, I still can't believe that happened.
On the air.
And he just kind of rolled with it. I mean, I'm sure there's a pretty good chance he was upset about it and just wanted to keep the peace.
You think so?
I've heard people, I don't know.
I feel like the social pressure in that situation is that
bow up.
He knows what, he knows that guy. I don't think I would be surprised if his opinion of his longtime play-by-play partner was based on one sentence. He either liked him or didn't like him based on everything else but that.
And the way that guy started that, it did seem like they were pretty good friends.
Yeah.
My point is just, I guess what I'm saying is I've heard people use that word whenever they're either doing jokes or stereotypes, and they just replace the word Jewish. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? They just actually, so that's how I've heard people use it, is just the same way that you would hear people do different types of race jokes or race, slander, and they just use the slur instead of...
Priest and a rabbi walk into a bar.
Right.
Yeah,
and that's so that's how I've heard, so, but it does feel weird whenever you're like, boy, I think I might have just heard things more than some other people heard.
I don't recall hearing that word once in my childhood, so...
You're in the clear, dude. Look at you. Good
I'm not
to go.
bragging. I'm just... You're talking about your experience and saying about how you felt like it might... you're realizing it might have been unique. I was trying to provide supporting evidence.
All right. Sarah J. only going to be trending for a little while longer.
That's it for tonight. The high school special is next, so until tomorrow. For everyone who's been a part of this one,
I'm TC and Jake.
We do thank you for watching. Good night.